This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Stuart Norsell joining us from BetSaracen's, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app. Anytime you want to put a little wager on your favorite sporting event, you got BetSaracen's on your phone. And right now, with the baseball playoffs in full swing, college football regular season about halfway finished, the NBA is around the corner. NHL regular season has started. There's a lot going on at BetSaracen. Works on your Apple iPhone, Google Android, any web browser, BetSaracen.com. And Stuart, because I am right now doing the show from Tupelo, Mississippi on the way to Alabama, I wouldn't be able to use BetSaracen if I wanted to, because the moment you go over that river, it ain't going to work for you.
Exactly. It's we have the geo compliance, and make sure you're in the state before we'll take a bet from you.
So our mutual friend Neil Atkinson is on the way back from the global. What was the name of where he went to? G2E. It was the gaming convention in Las Vegas. Sounded like he had a heck of a lot of fun, and it's I mean, you know, this is the kind of thing that hopefully, you know, you guys are on the cutting edge though as far as the sports betting app is concerned. It feels like the rest of the crew across the state are playing catch up. The numbers certainly do reflect that.
Yeah, we've really tried to be at the front edge of it, trying to make sure that we have more local content than anybody else in the state does. We create a lot of the wagers ourselves just to make sure that there's action that is interesting and exciting to the people here in Arkansas. So that's something we've emphasized from day one, and that's helped us get there, and our technology continues to evolve and get better every day. So we try to make it better for everybody every single day it goes by.
Stuart, hey, MLB playoffs. We're down to the Final Four. World Series coming up. Will y'all have some specials going on for the Final Four in the playoffs and the World Series?
Oh, absolutely. We always try to make sure there's a nice menu of specials available. We also have our flash bet right now that allows you to actually make bets play-by-play or inning-by-inning if you're so inclined. So it keeps baseball as a faster-moving sport just because of all the opportunities that are there.
Well, Stuart, I would figure because of the nature of the postseason, you have postseason awards. It's the same as what I think of right now in college football, where you're starting to see maybe a little semblance of a Heisman race coming together, and whoever wins the Biletnikoff Award or Doak Walker Award, and you can kind of work with that bet swap because on a week-by-week basis, you'll see like a Michael Penix from Washington having some great performance, or maybe he slumps for one game, and the odds change on that player's ability or what they view him as a Heisman candidate. So it's the same with the baseball playoffs. Game by game, you have a little bit of a different thought depending on the performance as to who's going to win most valuable player of the championship series or of the World Series. So often I feel, we think of sports betting, we're thinking of betting lines and the odds on the teams. But with BetSwap and with these postseason awards, you got an opportunity, as long as BetSwap is working, because I know it's been in beta, but this is a chance to, buy something that you view, and maybe the next day or the next week, depending on somebody's performance, you get a chance to sell that bet.
No, absolutely, and that's one of the reasons that we incorporated an indoor thing. If you make a bet on a seasonal proposition, and just an example on football, somebody to make the playoffs in college football, and they start off 6-0 or 7-0. Gives you an opportunity to cash in without waiting to see if they actually get to the playoffs or not. You can sell that bet for more than you paid for it, and take a profit off on a bet like that before everything's final. So it gives you a little more flexibility on those longer-term bets.
How is BetSwap working? I know it's still in beta. When do you feel it's ready for full release and to come out of beta?
Well, it basically, you can, if you're on a computer, a PC, you can get on and actually do it. As far as the phone app, they're still doing some final testing on that, and we're anticipating sometime in the next probably 30 days or so it should be available on the phones and everything else as well. We just want to make sure it works right before we release it to a widespread audience.
Stuart, you got USA versus Germany, a little soccer friendly coming up. I know Neil had talked about a big time parlay in the soccer world. How is the soccer betting on the site? Any more cool parlays?
Oh yeah, we always have basically a full menu of bets available on every sport. There are let's see here in the soccer specials. There's different parlays put together, player parlays. We've got 7 or 8 different soccer specials running on the site right now.
That's great. Well, I mean that's the way you're going to get fans interested in it. Is the action on Arkansas still as active as it was at the start of the season? I wonder sometimes about, and this is an app that works only in Arkansas. So Arkansas athletics are going to get probably the bulk of the money that are coming through, or at least be the most popular. Has that dropped at all during a 4-game losing streak, or is the action still kind of going like you expected it would go?
It's still actually pretty strong, and I think part of the reason is that they've been pretty consistently in the games, and they've covered a lot of spreads even on the games that they've lost. And just for example, this week they're getting 19.5 from Alabama, and I actually think Arkansas looks like a decent proposition at those numbers because you got Alabama, who hasn't been blowing anybody out, and Arkansas, who can certainly score with anybody, and so I'm thinking that's going to be a competitive game, and get 19.5 points. It makes it look pretty attractive if you think that they're going to be at least in the game most of the way.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. If again, like I think of it in terms of wins and losses, but when it comes to the betting line, wins and losses are totally different. And you're right though, they do continue to beat the spread. So to the sports bettors, Arkansas is winning.
Absolutely, and that keeps them interested. I mean, they were 9 or 10 point underdogs at LSU, and ended up being a field goal game. They've been in these games even if they come out on the wrong end. So that keeps people's interest, and we're still seeing solid backing on them for each of the games that are being played.
You got Colorado Buffaloes tonight. Are they still America's sweetheart? Are y'all still getting a lot of action on the Buffaloes?
The public's kind of lost some interest in Colorado, but they are big favorites tonight against Stanford. They're 12.5-point favorites to beat Stanford in Colorado. So, but we haven't seen the kind of interest that we had like in week 2, week 3, week 4, where it was one of our heaviest bet propositions on the board. It's fallen off a little bit, but it hasn't stayed as solid as Arkansas, and I think that Oregon blowout probably had a lot to do with it. But then they came back and covered against USC and won and covered last week, so they're starting to perform again, and that usually will draw the people back in, so that they'll give them a chance again. But again, they're heavily favored tonight, so they probably will come out with a win this evening as well.
Looks like the biggest line that I can find on BetSaracen's right now would be Penn State minus 41.5 against UMass. Do you find when there's a line that's that big, people just stay away from it overall?
They usually do. It's just, there's schools that, like Ohio State, that if they're 40-point favorites, you still get a lot of action on. But I think Penn State's still not as well known and not as followed by a lot of people here in Arkansas. And a game like that, you usually see it fall off. You'd rather have a game that's going to be competitive, and you have a better knowledge of where it's going to end up.
Is there a cycling following in Arkansas? Are they following darts, rugby league, rugby union, F1 racing? I mean, you guys wouldn't have these sports available on BetSaracen's if people weren't putting money on it, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's surprising, but one of our largest wagered sports right now is table tennis. And we're taking a lot of action on table tennis, and part of the attraction there is that the matches generally take about 10 minutes or so. So you make your wager, and you know whether you won or lost pretty quickly, and can recycle that money into the next match.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.